see the 5 games. We got 9 of our next 11 here. This is reality. We got to be good. We got to find a way. You know, at the end of the day, for me, you know, specialty teams have to get better, have to play at a level that help have us, you know, have success. You know, the detail, again, I know it's going to get repetitive, but our detail and our battle and our compete, that stuff has to be in every single player and every single period and every single game. And, you know, then the other side of it is that, like, our defending and our play without the puck, that's our constant. That's our bread and butter, and that has to be there. And it's what I've been kind of hammering on guys since just prior to Christmas.
Very direct and to the point.
That's
the head coach of the Winnipeg Jets, Scott Arniel.
There you go. Direct, to the point. It's what he has to be. That's what we have to be as well. Hello,
we
welcome
30 minutes
to another edition of Check, and I'm Sara Lesky. He is Jamie Thomas as we get you set for game 41, the halfway point of the season tonight with the Winnipeg Jets hosting the Vegas Golden Knights. It kicks off a 5-game homestand, one of the longest homestands that we will see this season, and certainly that we have seen up to this point as well.
We're going to see a lot of the Jets at home.
Yeah, that we are.
9-11.
Yeah.
As Arnie said.
Which is great. And they kick off this homestand needing, obviously, to turn things around. That road trip did not go the way that the Jets were looking for it to go. So maybe some home cooking is just what they need to be able to turn things around. We're going to have Daren Millard join us.
JetsTV alumni.
That's not going to say Sportsnet. We're not going to say anything else. Nope. JetsTV alumni. So looking forward to
because there's you, me, Mitch, and Daren.
There you go.
It's
a great group.
Huge stable.
So he's going to join us at 12:50. He's obviously been down covering the Vegas Golden Knights for years. So we're going to talk a little bit about Golden Knights, and we will take you inside the room as well, both from today, and then you can hear some sound that we got yesterday from some of the players when we spoke
and
after
today
practice. So we are going to delve into the Jets. Before we start looking at this matchup, though, let's talk about the fact that this is game 41 for the season, the halfway point. Obviously, no one would have expected the first 41 games to go the way that they have. What is it that stands out to you most about this group at the halfway point?
Well, I just all the guys on this roster right now that are just in slumps. And we're going to hear Nino Niederreiter refer to this or talk about this a little bit later, and he's in that group. But if you would have told me, you know, the bottom 9 forward group would struggle to score it's a hex. The bottom 9 forward. Are you making fun of the way I talk?
Not at all. I do too. So
do you?
No judgment.
Completely off topic.
Sorry.
A boss of mine told me to stop moving my hands so much. He said it distracts me from listening to what you're saying. So I'm going to go like this. Hands in my pockets. Yeah. So if you would have told me the bottom 9 forward group would have such a tough time scoring, I would have told you you're nuts. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that this team. Like, I didn't see them as winning the President's Trophy again this year, but I sure thought they were a top 3 team in the Central Division. So a big part of that, though, is the bottom 9 forward group has not consistently put the puck in the net.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one of the hallmarks of this Jets team last year when they were having all their success was the ability to win close games, the ability to close out games. That is something that we haven't seen up to this point as well. And you look at, actually with Vegas here in town, you and I were discussing just before we came on about how different things could be when you look at that extra point that you get from making it into overtime at the very least. And so with Vegas, they have 12 games or 12 overtime points.
Yeah. It's a big difference.
The loser point.
Yeah, they're tied with Edmonton for first.
They've got 12. They're sitting first in the Pacific Division. Winnipeg has 4. It's just, you think about how different it would be if they had 8 additional points, even from just being able to get games to overtime.
And here's another thing too, like Scott Arniel talked about, all 3 of those games they just came back from on the road were winnable games. That's I mean, we don't even go to the Toronto one again, but Ottawa was there. Adam Lowry scores first, shorthanded. Usually when you get a shorthanded goal, that's like a major boost. And we've been talking so much about them getting that first goal and how important it was to them winning. They scored first in Toronto too. So it boggles my mind how this is continuing to happen. And, you know, now players are starting to look as frustrated as at a loss of words to what's happening here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Not at a loss for words. Those of you that are in the chat, it's great to see so many of you. And there are a lot of you talking about congratulating Sweden and a couple of Jets prospects on the World Junior Gold win that they got a very big hello and happy afternoon to many of you, because we always appreciate when you send those to us as well. But also a lot of talk about Kevin Cheveldayoff's media conference yesterday, when he addressed the halfway point, took questions from the local media. A lot of people obviously have been talking about that over the last 24 or so hours. And he talked for about half an hour.
Yeah, he did.
I want to say.
Half.
So we're not going to play the half an hour, but here is a few select answers from Kevin Cheveldayoff yesterday when he addressed the media.
Well, again, certainly, you go into the season, you have obviously very high expectations. I think every team that goes in, feels they have that opportunity to, spread their wings and try to compete, for a Stanley Cup. We've said it all along. First and foremost, your first job is to, find a way to get into the playoffs, and that comes with the ability to go through a season and earn your way to that. To this point, obviously, it's been very disappointing. We have not, I think, to a man, top to bottom, and it starts with me. I think everyone would feel like there's a level of responsibility here that, we need to find a way to be better. So, again, we're at the halfway point, and your record is your record, and all you can do is control what's in front of you. And
you said it comes from within, so are you looking at other areas besides the 23 players currently on this roster to try to dig out?
Well, you're always looking. You're always trying to evaluate, what options, are out there, whether it's internally, whether it's externally. Again, I think if you look around the league, there's lots of teams that, are fighting for their lives right now. There's teams that, are below the line that, like ourselves, that felt they should be above the line. There's lots of those kind of things that are ongoing.
Your coach has, of course, tried to shuffle lines and juggle things almost as much as possible. Why haven't you made any moves?
Well, again, I think that, you do look at different opportunities to see what's potentially available. Some of the things that, if you look around the league, there's been a handful of moves, from a trade perspective. Some of them involving currency that we don't have, that we've spent and move forward. I think, you have to have some sense of realism as well when, again, sitting in the situation that we're in here right now, if you look back and kind of retrospectively look at some of the things there, we're missing some of the years of the drafts. A guy like Lucius retires. Those are things that those are the players that you're needing to make contributions right now. So we've traded a lot of draft picks. We've done a lot of that, and I think we're paying a little bit of a price for that right now.
From the fans' perspective, who are sitting there and they just want you to do something. Maybe if you could give a peek into what you've been trying to do and how difficult it can be to do these things without, when you're lost, sometimes if you keep taking the wrong turn, you just get more lost.
Well, yeah, I think, I don't want to get caught in saying, making trades in the National Hockey League are hard. There's trades that do happen. Again, the hard part about it is you having the assets that, the other team desires. And then, your willingness to give up the assets maybe that the other team desires. And those ebb and flow. Those ebb and flow with, where you're at as an organization, where you're at, in your prospect pool, where you're at in your I don't know how to say it, but with your core, how many pieces of your core do you have? Do you have the right pieces or enough pieces to surround that core? So those are the type of decisions that maybe push you to make a trade or inhibit you in making a trade.
Okay, so you heard about the core, right?
Yep.
What has the organization said to Connor Hellebuck, Mark Scheifele, and Kyle Connor when they signed their extensions? We're going to do everything in our power to win.
Yep.
They've done that. They've traded away draft picks. The Jets don't have their second and their fourth this year. They traditionally don't have either one of those every year. That's what Chevy's talking about. Sometimes you are going to pay a price long-term for a short-term goal, which is winning the Stanley Cup. They went for it last year. They've gone for it for many other years. This is the price you pay sometimes, especially when prospects like Chaz Lucius, who recently retired, that Chevy referred to, aren't ready. at the time where you're hoping they're ready when you draft them, right? So Chaz Lucius theoretically would be your 2C. Brad Lambert theoretically on paper could have been the replacement for Nikolai Ehlers. You're hoping for that if he doesn't stay. They're not ready yet. Obviously, Chaz Lucius retires because of injuries, but sometimes unfortunately, these things happen. And I'm not making excuses for what's happening here, but sometimes you have to look at things a little bit differently and see where things haven't worked. And everyone, I see the Kepke comments and, the older guys they brought in. Well, Gus Nyquist maybe doesn't have to be here theoretically because Brad Lambert's here. I feel like Gus Nyquist is turning a corner. There's lots of things here that are happening that is we just talked about at the top of the show, are confusing. The bottom 9 forward group is wild to me that they're not scoring. That there's so many guys in a slump right now that you could never tell me at the beginning part of this year, those guys are not going to be able to score. I'm sorry, no one told you that.
Yeah, there's because it is throughout the entire lineup.
Yeah.
Other than your top line, of course.
What have they always said about this team? Their third line is one of the best lines in hockey.
You love the third line.
I love the third line. So Nino Niederreiter, did anyone see this coming?
Right.
So come on. I get where everybody's frustrated. I am never of the belief that you should blow things up because it just that won't work here. Look how long it's taken Ottawa. I will always point to the Ottawa Senators and Buffalo rebuilding. That won't fly here, right? It's just that the fan base is too intelligent to want and be. It's too hard to sit there and wait 5-6 years to see. They might start winning again. It took a long time to get this core group going. Originally, when the Jets came here, it's just hard to do that. Start all over again.
Well, and you look at San Jose that has struggled for a number of years. That you get the Macklin Celebrini
but there's
and
not
Will
that
Smith.
Those players don't pop up all the time.
They're not.
Yeah.
It is not a yearly thing.
And someone in the chat pointed out, just because you finished last overall doesn't mean you get the first overall pick.
So for everyone saying tank,
yeah,
for whomever will be the first overall pick,
right.
There is no guarantee with that. And how frustrating would that be? Plus, everyone went into this season going, yes, look, they will not have the same sort of speed that they would have had with Nikolai Ehlers, and you have lost some of that, but nobody, whether it be fans, obviously within hockey operations as well, would have anticipated that this team would be sitting last right now. And they're currently 11 points back of Anaheim, who's sitting in that final wildcard spot at the moment.
Long way to go. But I mean, you again, 9 of the next 11 here at home. You can start making some headway here.
But decisions have to be made.
Yeah. There's some, and then like you can look at. Chevy pointed out yesterday. When Neil Pionk was hurt, they called up Elias Salamonson, right? He got his opportunity. Unfortunately, Connor Hellebuck got hurt. That's probably one of the biggest reasons why they're here in this position. Thomas Miller's got a look, and Dominic DiVincenzo's got called up, but he didn't get a chance to play in the game. And Dave Minuk asked a question about the evaluation of both those goaltending prospects. And Chevy was very blunt. We didn't play very good in front of Thomas Miller, so it's not really fair to evaluate him because the numbers weren't good, right?
Yeah.
So you can't sit there and say, well, I like what he did here, because he flat out said, I wish we would have played better in front of Thomas Milich, and Dominic DiVincenzo didn't get a shot. So we're not sure where you're at, and goaltending takes a while to figure out what you have. But I think they're in a good place with both those two goaltenders and not prospects. So, but we're more worried about this team trying to make the playoffs. They got Vegas here tonight. Do we want to go with Nino here?
Let's quickly take a look. It was an optional skate this morning. So let's take a look at what the projected lines are. These are based off of yesterday's practice. So it was an optional skate this morning, but it was a very well-attended one.
Yes.
But we do know that there are going to be some changes, especially when you look at, of course, the third pairing, because the third pairing usually has Logan Stanley on it. He will miss this game, serving that 1-game suspension that he has. So it will be Hayden Fleury and Luke Shen that are drawing in on the third pairing.
Yeah, Luke Shen is and then Hayden Fleury coming, as you said.
Yeah.
Now, also you might say it is Luke Shen's 1100th game, but on top of that, Vegas is a heavy hockey team, so Fleury and Shen's size much needed in the physicality that both of them play with.
Yeah, Vegas having their struggles as well. So, and we'll get more into that in just a few minutes with Daren Millard. But as you mentioned, Nino Niederreiter spoke. This was yesterday when he addressed the media, and he was speaking on the scoring woes that currently exist and the long scoreless droughts that we have for a number of players on this Winnipeg Jets team.
Okay. So that's the answer that Nino gave about sitting in there and waiting for somebody to make a move. It is dangerous. And he made a very good point, because it could be you going out the door. If you're sitting there waiting for reinforcements to come or whatever, however you want to phrase it, then you're just not doing your job and focusing on what you have to do. And that's for a lot of the players up front, unfortunately, is getting out of the scoring slump.
Yeah, hopefully for players, Nino obviously is going through one, but Cole Perfetti is as well.
Yeah.
It's well documented, all the players that has. Perfetti with points in his last 5 games against Vegas. So perhaps.
Yes.
Perhaps
sometimes certain opponents bring out the best in you.
This is what they need. As mentioned, Daren Millard will join us momentarily to talk about a Vegas team that, although they sit first in the Pacific Division since the middle of December, they are 31st in the league in terms of points and points percentage. They don't have a win in their last 5 games as well. So it is 31st since the middle of December for Vegas, 32nd in the league for Winnipeg. So something has to change.
Yeah.
Someone's walking away with 2 points, and you're hoping, obviously, that it is the Winnipeg Jets.
I know we're 6 days into January only, but the NHL posted a stat today that there's been a hat trick every day of the new year so far. So why not here? Why not here?
There you go.
Yeah.
Glass half full. That's
right.
the way that we're going to approach it. It has to end at some time. Winless in their last 9. You know what?
It's time for a hat trick.
It is time for a hat trick and for a win. Adam Lowry, I had the opportunity just before we bring in Daren
Hold on.
Millard.
Watch this.
See if we can do this. I had the chance to catch up with the captain this morning. He did not take part in
Never
the
mind.
optional. Nope.
No, not going to work that way.
Okay.
Hold on.
That's okay. We don't have to do it either.
No, I'm going to do it. I'm making this happen. Keep talking.
All right.
You're very good. I believe in you.
When looking at the last win here at Canada Life Center, December 13th, Nino's 1,000th game. As Jamie mentioned, 9 of the next 11 games are here on home ice. 7 of these 9 games in this winless drought have been by 1-goal games. And so that is an area that, whether it be Scott or Neil at a variety of times, players have talked about as well, that, when you look at the penalty kill, well, it goes really well for a minute 50,
Right.
say, and then it falters. They just have not been able to have that consistency and find it the way that we would expect them to, based on past performance. Also, when you look at it, this first of 3 meetings between Vegas and Winnipeg, these games always have a little bit extra. And when we have the opportunity to hear from Adam, that's something that he talks about as well, that basically,
No, sorry.
it's okay.
Yeah. It's the science.
You know what? If you go to the website, it's on the website.
We apologize.
It came into us late. So, but it is on the website. It is interesting to listen to him. I mean, he talks about the homestand. He talks about how things obviously have been going, the struggles or the challenges that it has created for him, and wearing it a little bit extra based on the fact that he is the captain of this team, and just trying to keep things positive in that room, because there are still 41 more games to go, and you cannot check out on a season. At any point, you certainly can't at the midway point.
Listen, our next guest is many titles.
Jets alumni,
And he's JetsTV alumni. We have a huge base, as I've talked about. When I can't wait for the reunion show of all 4 of us when it comes to that point. But it is Daren Millard from the 100% Hockey Podcast, one of his new ventures, or not so new ventures. Right? How long has that been going on for?
Yeah, just over a year, but it kind of slid over. It was fluid transition from the Chirp podcast, still associated with the National Hockey League, but I hooked up with John Shannon, and that basically means I have to do less work, which is like part of my DNA. If there's an easy way out, I'm in there.
See, that's why you're part of leadership, is delegation.
Oh,
leadership is like
totally.
finding the right
John,
people.
you want to book all the guests? Okay.
John, you know people, right? Like, you know some people over your time in Hockey Night in Canada.
So all I have to do is show up. Okay, I can do that like 20% of the time.
I can do that. That's right. So welcome, JetsTV alumni.
Yeah, this is good. So who's the 4th person?
Mitch Clinton.
Oh yeah, forgot about Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the 4 of us. So
yeah.
I look forward to our reunion show.
We'll do it on the
Mitch
check-in.
must
We'll
be
talk
really
about some
feeling it
great
right
moments.
now. Mitch must be really feeling it right now that he's the only one not here.
It's like, you guys always leave me out when you get together.
There's always one person. Usually it's in the group of 3, but we've broken new ground with 4.
We changed from the 3rd wheel to the 4th wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Mitch. A little left to fit you in, but there's not room.
Like there's a lot of sympathy pouring in for Minch already. So obviously it's a well-known part of the alumni. Hey, when they put the loser point together in the National Hockey League all those years ago, did you ever think that Vegas was sitting there with 12 of them?
No,
And in
I don't
first
think
place?
anybody thought on any team you would have 12 of them at the halfway point. They played more overtime games than anybody else in the National Hockey League.
Yeah,
Here's the good thing. I believe Winnipeg's played the fewest.
correct.
So that's working to Vegas's advantage tonight. They're playing a team that never goes to overtime. 'Cause
Experience. We have so much experience in overtime. You don't want to go there with us.
we don't want to go to overtime anymore. And if you guys don't want to go, that's great with us. But Mark Stone had a great point the other day. Winnipeg's own Mark Stone said you would have thought that they would be far and away the leaders in overtime games, and they're not. Like there's 8 teams with 14 or more overtime games. It's so close this year, and there's more overtime games than we've ever seen at this point during a season. But it's been a thorny issue for the Vegas Golden Knights. They're getting points. They've rescued some points in games in forcing overtime, but they've left a lot of those bonus points slip through their fingers.
If you hadn't been watching and following along with how Vegas's season had been going, you would look and go, okay, so they're sitting first right now in the Pacific Division. Give us an idea. Give us some words, though, to describe the first half of the season for the Golden Knights.
Well, I think a little bit of frustration, challenging because of the injuries that they've dealt with. Stone was out 16 games. Right now, they're without a couple of Olympians in Shea Theodore, who is expected back and will play for Team Canada. William Karlsson was not named to Team Sweden because he won't be available by the looks of things before the Olympic break. They're still optimistic or hopeful on that front. They've only got one victory from their number one goaltender entering the year, a guy that was on the Four Nations face-off team last year in Aiden Hill. So they're missing a lot of guys. They had one guy, Sarah, from year number one. They had one guy in the lineup the other night, and that was Brandon's Zach Whitecloud, who played one game that year. Like that's how thin it is right now with this team. So frustrating, but also there's a sense of optimism that they've been able to either tread water through challenging situations or periods, and they are tied for first place going into this one with Edmonton. So there's that part of it, that they haven't had a lot of things go their way, and they're still right there in a battle for the division lead. So it's a half empty, half full situation, and it really does depend on whether you're an optimist or a pessimist.
Listen, when you have an organization that has let's call this no holds barred when it comes to trading draft picks, as Vegas has done, that like no first round pick is safe, no first round prospect is ever safe. What's the difference?
It feels like it's been such a long time since you guys have been home for any appreciable.
Sarah and Adam Lauer just had to step in there for a second. I was asking the
see you guys wanted that. I heard you guys teeing it up, and that's a director or a producer that's just on. Must be in a different time zone because it was just a little delayed. That was only 8 minutes late.
You know, technology, not JT's forte.
Oh my goodness, he gets confused with an abacus. Like that's too much electronics for him, and there's no plug in there.
I've been very selective of the guests we bring on the show, and I usually go through and I'm like, who usually speaks kindly to me? And I'm like, Daren, he came over for dinner one time. My wife fed him one time, and I thought that would be enough.
My wife fed him one time.
One time it was glorious. We both made fun of you.
Yeah, I know. Like I've never seen. Like I think this was the start of her getting so mean. Is like you just started you were the catalyst, and now it's just like carried over. Like this is fun.
You still have a VIC 20 computer. That's your level of technology.
Yeah. I've got my Atari kicking around in the background.
I love the Atari.
Anyways, I love how Sarah decides to blame me on the Adam Lauer, which will come up here momentarily after we're done.
It was Sarah's interview, but it's your fault.
I was like, I've seen enough.
Can only do so much.
Yeah,
I like how we're doing a lot of not talking about the teams
Yeah.
right now because
neither one of them have played particularly well in the last 5 games. Let's be honest.
It kind of fits. I was thinking about this cup before I came on. I'm like, Well, they don't want to talk about their team.
Yeah.
We're in a flat spot right now.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of great things to discuss. There's some individual parts that have been really promising, but
Yeah.
it hasn't been a great end to 2025-26. I wonder if we're going to talk about my visit to the dog park.
Let's talk about the visit to the dog park.
Loki and Bear had a great play today.
I saw there was like a viewer had wrote in and said that there's a dog sighting, so maybe that's why they want to talk about your dog park. So maybe it's more famous than I thought it was.
I like the yellow dog, which is another dog reference, but it's just down the street from where you guys are right now. A great tavern in Winnipeg. My favorite spot to hang out when I come to town.
Mark Stone, Winnipeg.
Yeah.
He's getting there, and he got named to the Olympic team again, and he's starting to turn a corner as usual.
Well, he's had the best start to his career, and he played 6 games and then missed 16 and came back and just hit the ground running. And he joked that he's got a lot of experience in coming back from absences.
Right.
So this was.
Are they going to ease you in, Mark? Are they going to ease you back into the lineup, you think?
Yeah. No, he came back and he's owned it. So from like a points per game perspective, he's top 10 in the National Hockey League right now. He's down the list because of the time that he's missed, but he means so much to this team, and Jacka being out of the lineup lately has an impact. But when Mark was absent, the zone entries going into the opposition's end of the ice, that was a real issue for Vegas. On the power play, that down low spot, they had trouble filling that. It was a bigger absence, more impactful absence than a lot of people expected this year. And since he's come back, it has been a huge bright spot, and he wanted that Olympic spot as much as anybody that was in the conversation for Milan Cortina, and he just went out and grabbed it. And he always plays really well against Winnipeg in Winnipeg, so kind of hopeful that continues. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I feel as if all Winnipeggers, but they come back, and if they're going to have strong games, they always do here in Winnipeg. I did want to quickly ask you, Daren, there's always trade speculation that goes on. At least there's a lot of talk about it in Canadian markets, especially when things aren't going well with certain teams. With the way that things have been going in Vegas, yes, I know that you're sitting first in the Pacific or tied for first, but Kelly McCrimmon, as Jamie had said, isn't afraid to trade away draft picks, isn't afraid to make trades. Has there been any speculation that has started to brew about what Vegas could do as they try to take? No. Okay.
No. And part of that is like Kelly did a lot of heavy lifting in the summer in the acquisition of Mitch Marner. And then the Golden Knights were able to bring in Carter Hart. And that has added to that. And boy, was that fortuitous, given that the injury happened to Aiden Hill. So they have added to the team, certainly in the summer and this fall, with Carter Hart joining the squad. But there's not a lot of chatter about that. Now, is Kelly McCrimmon going to be looking for ways to improve the hockey club? They're thin on the back end right now. Their top pairing is out. Braden McNabb and Shea Theodore are both missing from the lineup, and they're down to 7 and 8 guys deep in the lineup. So would that be an area that you could to backfill on? Sure, but I don't think anything's going to happen until they get healthy. And number 2, after the Olympic break, and because that's just one thing. I've said this with John Shannon on 100% Hockey. You don't want to necessarily acquire somebody before the Olympics and have something happen to them. Like after the Olympics is the time that I think a lot of any Olympians will be moved will take place.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate the time as always. Congrats on the year-old podcast with John Shannon.
Year-old podcast. Yeah. Sarah, it's so good to hang out with you.
You know what, Daren? I always enjoy it so much too. We used to hang out at Stanley Cup finals. It was always a good time.
If we could turn this reunion into a duo, like a two,
I agree.
Yeah, like Mitch is gone, Jamie's gone. Like this is more.
Are there 4 alumni or just?
I don't
2?
think so. I think just 2. Love you guys.
All right.
Hey.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
All right. The Adam Lowry conversation. Please
For it.
lead us in.
I like
the 5-game homestand tonight.
How do you look at this homestand?
Yeah, I think where we stand, we know how critical this homestand is. The stretch of 9 of our next 11 at home, and we have to start making up ground. And you can't win them all, in the first game. But it's certainly important that we get this ship, we get this thing going in the right direction, and get some positivity around here, and hopefully we're able to go on a run.
How hard is it to have that positivity right now?
Well, I think we still have that belief. Obviously, It hasn't really gone how we expected or how we wanted to, and certainly during this streak, I think we've played well enough to win a handful, if not the majority of the games. But at the same time, it's about getting results. I think that belief. There's confidence that if we can put a full 60 together, we'll get a positive result, and no better team to do against than the Knights.
So what becomes the top priority going into this game tonight?
Well, I just think the consistency throughout the game, and then, I think if we do that and we play with our structure and when we defend first, we're a tough team to score on. When we're playing above the puck, we're tracking well in the neutral zone, we're breaking the puck out quickly, and we make Kelly's job a lot easier. And generally, if he sees the puck, if there's not a lot of seams that he has to worry about, he's going to stop it. So, I think that first and foremost is kind of our focus, is defend first, and we'll create the offense from there.
Have you found this to be, it's a challenging season with the way that's gone, but then you add on to that, obviously you're the captain as well. Has that added an extra layer to it for you?
Yeah, you know what, I think you feel some added pressure to get this team where we think we should be, and obviously coming off the hip surgery, it took a while for my game to start looking similar to what I expected to, and I think those two things combined, it makes it tough to feel like your voice carries as much weight as it normally does, when you're not necessarily carrying the weight of your play and things like that. But like I said, we have confidence in this group. We have belief that we can go on a run. We can get ourselves back into this. And I think since Christmas, obviously we haven't gotten the results, but our team play has certainly picked up.
And finally, I wanted to ask you tied the franchise record for shorthanded goals the other night. Describe for me your mentality when you were out there on the PK. Obviously, I know first priority is to defend, but what is the mentality like for you?
Yeah, certainly the penalty kill hasn't gone the way we would have liked it, especially on the trip. We've given up some goals at key times. I think being able to create some offense shorthanded, it's just all about reads. It's about knowing when to go, knowing when you have possession, and you're able to change things quickly. And, fortunately, I've been able to capitalize on a few in my career.
Well, before we get more chirps, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Sarah.
And go. You know what? That's gutsy. Going out during Vegas this morning to skate. I think that's sending a message early on.
Well, we were out there beforehand, but
Yeah.
then we got talking about a variety of things before we even started the
Which is what
interview.
happens with the
Yes.
captain.
So I'm like, hey, how's it going? He goes, oh, just great. And I
Yeah.
go, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, okay, I know. So not on the ice though. How's everything else?
Yeah.
How's-
Right.
for it. So thanks to Adam Lowry for that. Thanks to Daren Millard for joining us. Always a great time. And I love all the people that are also chirping in the
Right.
comments as well.
They
also,
are ruthless.
They also enjoy it when we give Jamie here the gears.
I've never been kicked off the show before, so that's new.
So we're taking over.
Right.
You know what? Darren wanted to add
If it
to
means
all
the
of his
Jets are
other
gonna win this game,
responsibilities. There you go.
If the Jets want to win this game
know what?
because I got kicked off the show, I'll take it.
Here, look, there's a very quick line that Bruce Cassidy, head coach for
Okay.
Vegas, had said the other day regarding his team struggles because they have been self-inflicted losses. This is the worst stretch for them since they entered the league as well. 1 win in their last 9 games. He said, enough's enough. If the guys believe they're a first place team, a contender, then enough's enough. Start playing like one. You know
Just
what?
not tonight.
Not tonight, but
Yeah. Not up in here.
that idea, that mentality, I think would also great. We could apply it to the Winnipeg Jets as well.
That's fair.
Consistency.
believe you're a playoff team?
If you're a playoff team, all right, let's see it. And no better time to start than right now in front of home fans as they kick off this 5-game homestand here tonight. It should be a good one. It is always an entertaining game when they play Vegas. There's always stuff that goes on.
Prepared to be entertained.
There you go. Are you not entertained?
Exactly. That's what they're going to say after they go off the ice tonight.
I hope so. That'd be great for a runway episode. They walked off, looked straight into the camera, straight down.
You not
Oh,
entertained.
that's right.
We need Stanley to do that.
Oh, well, not tonight, unfortunately. But
Happy-
someone else.
Happy 1100th game to Luke Shen too.
Yes, 100%. We didn't have the opportunity to run that, but finally hitting that 1100 mark and quite the accomplishment for him for a career that has seen, its ups and downs, and for him to be able to hit the 1100 mark. Congratulations to Luke Shen.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Oh, very
What?
quickly,
What?
Ukrainian Heritage Night.
Yes.
Tonight. Beautiful. Always love this. We didn't have the opportunity to talk about it. I didn't want to get makeup on my white hoodie, so
I am dying inside this thing. It's so warm.
well, that's fantastic. So
Yeah.
that's tonight as well. It's always a special night here. Food always fantastic on nights like this.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
Who doesn't like some Ukrainian food?
I enjoy it.
Let's go find out.
Okay.
Thanks for being here.
No, thank you, Jamie. Thank you.
It's my show.
And thank all of you. We love having you in the chat. We love having you join us. And we hope that, as always, you will on each and every game day. Remember that if for some reason you can't join us and you can't be a part of the chat because it's not working out with your schedule on that particular day, you can catch us in podcast form.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
can't always take time off work to watch our show. So we appreciate that.
Okay. We have to go.
Yeah, we got to go.
All right.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.